Hi everyone, welcome back to Little K Artistry. I am Kristen, the artist also known as Little K. This is my studio, my little corner of the art world, and I welcome you back into another instructional video. If you have been watching my latest series, hope you've been enjoying them. I'm taking a little break from the texture pieces, the ones like what you can see behind me. These are some of this is my Urban Decay series, which I am just loving, and I just posted this one actually right before this video. I just posted the creation of this one. This was truly mixed media because I used clay as well as texture and then the acrylics, and it was just so fun to do. And then this one, I haven't posted the creation for this one yet, but this one used a mandala and a whole bunch of texture on that too. And then of course this one is my rusted metal wall. It was so fun. I just had such a great time, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching the videos. There are more to come. I am taking a break. Some of you requested that I do another step-by-step how-to for the Dutch pour, and this is the Dutch pour Little K Artistry style. So it does not use just paints and water, which Winska Downia uses just paints and water, and that was how she coined the art style Dutch pour, because she's Dutch. And I'm doing the same style, but my medium is different, and I will put a link in the description of this video for my video to mix how I mix my pouring medium, the Little K Artistry style for the Dutch bloom. I have here in front of me a 16-inch cradled wood canvas. You can see it's an awesome wood canvas. For those of you who have asked, I will answer your question right now, and you can see, no, I do not tape off my canvases, and there is one very good reason for that. And the main very good reason, the only reason actually why I don't tape off any of my canvases, is because I want people to know that this is a real piece of art that I have my hands on, and typically they'll see my fingerprints on the back of the canvas in a lot of them. So I don't want people to think that this is a digital work or it's a print or something like that. So that's the main reason I want them to know that it is a legit Little K Artistry, one-of-a-kind piece. So that's why I don't tape off any of my canvases. A lot of artists do, and that's fine. That's great. You can tape off your canvas if you want. And you'd think, because I am a little bit OCD and I'm kind of a clean freak, that I would not want my canvases to have anything on the back of them. Quite the opposite. I want my canvases to show that I sometimes worked 2 or 3 paintings on one canvas until I found one that I like. So some of my canvases actually have multiple different colors on them because I repainted over them. So, but this is just a cradled wood canvas, and I put gesso on, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a Dutch pour style for you. I have some browns and some purples, so it's a little bit of a different color palette that I'm used to, and hopefully it will turn out well. But I want to thank you for joining me, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because we have the best subscribers on YouTube. I know we absolutely do, and I love you all. Thank you so much for the comments and the emails and all the good wishes, and it's warming me up here in frozen Maine. I live in central Maine, and right now it's very cold. So thank you for all the wonderful comments and showing the love. Thank you so much. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get my painting smock on so I don't ruin my sweater. And I'm going to put some gloves on so I don't ruin my hands. And then I will make sure I have all of my tools, and we'll go ahead and it's just a 16-inch canvas, not a huge bloom. I really like the size. It's really workable. I like it for not only the Dutch blooms, but for also when I do some of my texture pieces. This one's a little smaller. That's a 12-inch. But I like the 16-inch. Fits, especially for anything that I'm spinning, fits really nicely on my smaller spinner. And this is the spinner that I made. I do have my larger one that I made. This is the smaller one that I made, and that I will also put a link in the description for making the spinner if you guys want to make your own spinner. So I'm going to go ahead and get my stuff on, and I'll be back with you, and we'll make some art. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the base layer down. And as I said, I'm working with a color palette that I have not used previously. So this is unbleached titanium. I'm not doing a white background. I feel like the white background sometimes is a little boring. And that's just my personal feeling. I really prefer something with a little bit more of a depth to it. And I like when you put an actual color on the background, that it makes the painting a little bit more interesting. That's just my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. So this is unbleached titanium, and this is the base coat. So when you guys when you mix your paints, Rinske Downie has a wonderful course. I recommend taking her course. It's all about mixing how she mixes her paints for a Dutch pour. It does give the consistency, so that if you guys have questions, that helps there. There's no trace in my cup when I mix my paints for a Dutch pour. There's no trace, so they're pretty thin. But there again, I use a little bit of a pouring medium in mine, whereas Rinske Downie just mixes hers with the paint and water. So mine's a little bit different. The consistency is a little different because I do have a pouring medium, but I still make the paints really, really thin because you want them to move on your canvas. Obviously, you've heard me say it before if you've watched any of my Dutch pour paintings. This is fluid art, and if the paint does not flow off the canvas, it's not fluid art, it's stationary art. And that's not what I'm making here. This is fluid. I want the paint to flow off the canvas as I blow it out. And this, I am going to be using my hairdryer. That's one of the other questions that I get a lot. I'm going to try and answer all the Dutch pour questions that I get in this one video. One of the questions that I get, and I've addressed it before, but I'll do it again, is how to blow out, how to actually use the hairdryer to blow out the petals of the bloom. Because there's a little bit of an art, a knack to it. You know, you got to practice it. Let me just say that first of all, definitely practice. I did not start out making my Dutch pours like this. I had to practice a lot. I might actually end up having to put a little bit of tape on the bottom of this because I think it might spin off. Because these wood canvases sometimes spin off a little bit. What I might do actually is I'm going to pause the video, I think, and I'm going to switch this canvas to my larger spinner because I think this one might be a little small. So hold on, and I will be right back. That's better. I was worried my canvas was going to fly off my spinner. So I'm just going to spin this real quick just to make sure that I've got, I just kind of want to smooth out the paint a little bit here. Okay, so as I was saying, one of the biggest questions that I get is how to actually blow out the bloom with a hairdryer and not make a mess, and how you get the 5 petals and all that. So, like I said, there's a bit of a knack to it. It takes practice. Please practice. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. It took me quite a while and a lot of canvases to get this down. I imagine Rinske Downie had to practice quite a bit as well. Okay, so there is my base. That is the unbleached titanium. Blew out some of the bubbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a little permanent violet dark because, you know, I love purple. And I think this will look really nice with these browns that I'm going to use as well. No bubbles. Okay. It's a pretty good puddle. And then I'm going to do a little burnt umber. Let me pop the bubbles there real quick. Do a little burnt umber. Normally I would use some Van Dyke Brown, but the burnt umber I think will look really nice in the center because it's a dark brown. It dries dark, but it won't be too dark. I don't want it too dark, but I like how it's very similar to the unbleached titanium. It's just a darker shade, but it's very similar. It's very warm. Then in the middle, I have a combination of light gold paint, tube paint, and then TLP, which is this little piggy, and that is the Harvest Gold. So that is, oh, hold on a second, that is a pigment. There we go. So I've got a pigment and a tube paint mixed here in the center for that gold. And then on the outside edge, because I want a little bit of a contrast, I'm going to put a little bit of titanium white. Just a little bit. Okay, pop some bubbles here. Don't worry if your circles aren't perfect. They do not have to be. Okay, now when it goes to the blowout, I'm going to put a little bit of a puddle around this too. When it goes to the blowout, I'll have the hairdryer on so you won't be able to hear, but just remember that what you want to do is go kind of perpendicular almost to the canvas. You don't want to push the paint this way, you want it to go that way. Hard to describe, but just watch how I use the hairdryer. And I always put my hairdryer on low, and it's on the cool setting. Let's see if I can make a 5-petal bloom. So it's perpendicular, and then I'm going to kind of angle my wrist and turn my wrist a little bit. We'll see. Ooh, that's pretty. So like I said, that looks easy, but trust me, that is so many paintings worth of practice. I don't even know how many paintings I did. So many before I got that right. So my goal is to put some texture on this one if it comes out the way that I want it to. That's a big if. So I am gonna just do a little bit of defining the petals here, just a little bit, before I spin it out. And because I'm gonna put some texture on it, I think I might like to spin it off the canvas a little bit, maybe a lot bit. Try to go with the natural look of where the petals are. All right, so let me spin this once, just to see where we're at with composition. Okay, wow, oh, I love that color. Ooh, that color combination is so pretty. Oh, okay, if you've seen any of my videos, you know I get a little weird at this point. I'm done apologizing, you guys. I'm weird when it comes to art because this just makes my brain go, it's just scratches just that somebody told me that the other day, because I kept saying it makes my brain go wonky, and they said another way of saying that is it just scratches your brain in just the right place, in just the right way. And I was like, ooh, that's perfect. It really does. It just scratches an itch that I apparently did not know I needed scratching. If it does that for you, we are kindred spirits. We need to be friends. Okay, I do think I want to, oh gosh, you guys, I really love it the way that it is. I'm gonna, This is to spin or not to spin. That is the question. So I'm going to scoot it this way just a little bit because I want it to go that way a little to balance out because this one is off. So let me just do that real quick. Just a little bit. And you guys, because these paints are so thin, you don't need to spin really quickly. And this is another question that I get frequently, which is a lot of you have asked me why I don't have paint all over my, or why I have a nice piece of furniture like the one behind me. And it's because I don't freak out and spin really wildly. And it's because, first of all, I've learned that I don't need to, but also the paints are so thin that it doesn't take a lot of centrifugal force to get them to move on the canvas. Oh, so pretty. I am definitely loving this. Okay. Okay. Let's see. My brain does not want to think. Okay, I'm going to scrape a little bit of this because I'm going to scoot the canvas back over this way. And I don't know, guys. I think this might be done. I have one hanging on my wall in the other room that is pink instead of purple. And it's multiple shades of pink and white. And I spun it totally off. And it looks just so beautiful with the texture. But gosh, I don't know. I know, I can hear you. Some of you out there are like, don't spin it anymore. And some of you are like, keep spinning. I can hear you. I know that's what you're saying. I know it. Okay. There's a lot of activity going on here. And there's not a lot going on here. And I think with some texture, that could potentially be improved. I also think, let me just see, I'm going to put a little bit of the burnt umber and a little bit of the permanent violet dark on my glass canvas over here. By the way, you guys, this is just a glass cutting board. Really easy to clean. That's why I really like it for this. So I'm just going to define this a little bit. Just a little bit of tweaking. Not a lot. With a little purple, and then I'll bring in some brown. It just needs a little something, something. You know what I mean? And a little bit here too, maybe. I will also touch this up once it's dry before I do the texture. I do like to add a little bit when it's wet because I think it blends better with the colors when it's wet. There. Okay, just a tiny bit. Oh, okay, what do you guys think of this? I am loving this color combination. I did not think I was going to love it this much, but oh man, it's scratching that itch just right. It's making my brain feel fuzzy. Okay, now I don't think I'm going to spin it anymore. I really like it the way that it is. So now I just want to see about the composition. Okay, I like it like this. So I'm going to spin it so you guys can see it. I like that oh, that also looks good though. Ooh. Okay, well this is one of those unique pieces that looks good in multiple different ways. Okay, so it's either that or that. That. Okay, so it's either that of that. One of those two is the composition. You guys, it looks good this way too. I don't know. Okay, it's either going to be that one or that one, how you guys are looking at it right now. And I am going to get cleaned up here, and then I'm going to bring you in for a close-up. And then when it's dry, I will do a little bit more tweaking, especially just mostly right here. I think, although it's pretty perfect. And then I'll put some texture on it. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys in for the close-up. Here we go. Close-up of the bloom. Now, I don't know if it's that way or that way. That way? No, not that. Okay, I think so. The whitest petal on the bottom, I think that's really how, I think that's how it goes. I don't know, you guys. I need help. You need to tell me what you think. I can't decide. Okay, I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see that center. Oh, that permanent violet dark is so pretty mixed with the burnt umber. Oh my, 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 my. And we've got some pretty little cells in this petal. And we've got cells over here. And some funky cells up there. Okay, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, I think it's just so pretty. I'm so glad that you guys joined me today for this Dutch style bloom. I am delighted with the way that it came out. I'm eager to hear your comments and your thoughts on this piece. Once it is dry, I will be adding some texture to it. You can go back a few videos and see the blue one that I did with some texture. I like to use a little bit of gloss medium, and then I mix a tiny bit of a real shimmery glitter in with it, just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a shimmer, and then I apply it with a palette knife, and oh my word, it just changes the whole perception of the piece, and I love the way that it looks. And actually, I've done one, I told you about the pink one that I have hanging in another part of my house. I'm going to go get that right now and show you what that one looks like, and then you'll be able to tell what I'm talking about when I say what I'm going to do with this one. I'll be right back. This is the same size can, you can tell, as I said, it has my fingerprints on the back, but this one's all sealed. This is the same size canvas as this one. This is the one that currently hangs in the other room. So this one, like I said, it's pinks, various pinks. There's a little bit of brown and gold in the center. And then I added some heavy gloss gel, or maybe that was light gloss gel, I can't remember. And I mixed a tiny bit of the shimmery pink glitter. I don't know if you guys can see that shimmer or not. And I did the petals in that, and then I did a little bit with some gold shimmer in it, and I did the center with the gold, and then I sealed it. And I just love how it came out. It's super shimmery, and I like pink and I like purple. This one, so you can see the contrast between the white background and then this beautiful, warm, unbleached titanium, which I just am loving. I might have to do another one, but so this one is that one's gonna look just like this one when I get done. So I wanted to show you guys this one so you could see what I did. I like to add the texture because it makes it interesting. And you can see how I blew this one off you can see it coming off the edges. Most of the edges, the bloom is actually coming off all four edges. And I thought about doing that with this one, but I really love the composition just the way it is. So I am not going to blow or spin anymore. I think I just love it the way that it is. So thank you for joining me once again in my studio at Little K Artistry. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do share this and comment, like, hit the bell so you can be notified when I post new videos so you can come watch them. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is that you're watching this. And just remember that little K is reminding you and encouraging you to go make the art. You'll be glad you did.